Hi everyone, welcome back to the Tools and Channels stage. And I'm Clarice Lin, your host for today. I'm from the UK right now. So you've just joined us, introduce yourself, put yourself in the chat, tell us where you're from, and we're looking forward to your questions as we welcome to stage today for our third session on this stage, Gali Soudak. She's
Hello.
the founder and CEO of Days, one of Israel's top B2B tech marketing agencies. For more than 13 years, she has utilized her laser focused insights to execute marketing strategies for hundreds of leading global tech brands, including IBM, NICE, MDocs, Tidal Care, Red Hat, and Celebrite. Gali's passion for generating highly targeted leads through innovative marketing strategies, tools, and tactics has made Days a top choice for B2B companies. Throughout the years, she has worked with various tech industries, including cyber, fintech, clean tech, medical devices, telecommunications, SaaS, and IT. The power of SEO ignited Gali's passion for the digital world. However, she quickly became Israel's leading marketing strategist. She's a frequent keynote speaker at marketing conferences and loves to talk about full funnel campaigns, LinkedIn marketing, targeting secrets, ninja tools, and lead generation. We are very lucky to have her with us today talking about generating highly targeted B2B leads, especially during this time where companies are cutting down their budget, they are cutting off their employees, unfortunately, but we're going to learn a lot from her today. And before I bring her on stage, I want to mention that our knowledge partners, Pact and Manning, will be awarding the most active attendees who rate sessions and leave comments with free ebooks. So feel free to join us in the conversation in the chat. If you have any questions, feel free to leave it for Gali. And let's welcome her on stage. Gali.
Hello. Thank you for the nice introduction. I guess I will just start right ahead because we only have 45 minutes. And today we are going to talk about how to generate highly targeted leads and efficiently, because this is a time of budget cuts, definitely not budget increases, but you're still expected to generate results. So let's just get right to it. I want to start by just saying a word about me and why you should take my advice. First of all, I have an MBA and a Master's of Business and Marketing from Melbourne Business School. I have more than 18 years of experience in strategy and marketing, and I have founded one of the leading B2B tech agencies in Israel. I've worked with numerous global brands. You can see a few here, and I've worked with various industries. So I have a good sense of what works and what doesn't work, especially during the last year where we have tested numerous strategies and techniques to see what works now. And what I'm going to talk to you about today, 50% will be really what I call evidence-based marketing, which are insights of what you should and you should not do that are based on research. And the other 50% would be really tools and tactics and things that we've developed inside the agency that will show you how you could still generate leads effectively and efficiently right now. So let's just start. I want to start with one basic truth, which is everything that is true about marketing during regular times is even truer during bad times. Now we see a financial winter, I would say. So this doesn't mean that, oh, we can just disregard everything we know and just find some new hack or ninja tool. Everything is still the same, from full funnel strategy to sharp targeting to strategic messaging, optimization, conversions, and sales and marketing alignment. So this is something that you need to keep in mind, and there's a reason why I'm stressing that. We'll talk about what does history teach us about how should marketing managers behave? Should they do during recessions? The opportunity that it exists right now for marketing managers to actually get better share of voice, and how should you divide the budget that you do have, top of the funnel, only lead gen, what should you do? I'm also going to talk a little bit about targeting secrets, things that we've learned throughout the years. I'm going to talk about LinkedIn outreach for purposes of lead gen and awareness, and I'm not talking about the spammy outreach that some of you know. I'm also going to show you how pure A/B testing done right can significantly increase your results and reduce your cost per lead. And then we're going to talk a little bit about funnel examples, what kind of funnels actually work right now for big tech companies and what funnels don't work. So let's start. I want to start by by a research, I'd say a summary of research done throughout over 100 years of almost 100 years of different recessions were tested, and the research checked how companies behaved, what happened to companies that decreased their budget versus companies that increased their budget during recessions. And we've covered all recessions throughout those years, different researches, different companies, in different countries. But the thing is that there's a remarkable consistency in the findings of what happened to companies who increased budget versus decreased their budget. And these are the results. If you maintain even or increase your ad spend, that would be the best strategy to weather a recession. Now, I know that all of you are saying, oh, come on, she didn't come here to talk about increasing the budget when our budget is being cut. No, I'm not. I will show you later efficient ways to generate leads with small budgets. But you do need to understand, and this is something that is your responsibility as a marketing manager to take to the management and show them evidence-based marketing, that if you do increase your budget, you will actually be better off when you get out of the recession, and you will have more share of voice. And this is based on research. So most companies cut their marketing spend. But the thing is, because demand decreases, then media cost also goes down, and there's less ad noise, which allows you immediately to get better share of voice, which means that you will stay in the awareness, in the minds of your or target audience. They will see you more. So the thing is that if you look at the 2008 recession, you will see that companies who have gained better extra share of voice, which means they increased their budget, they got a lot more market share as soon as the recession was over. So this is consistent throughout recessions from the last 100 years. Why do you think that this one is different? Now, even in good times, we know that about 5% of the market is in the bottom of the funnel, ready to buy. But the rest of the market is not yet ready and needs further nurturing. So in bad times, I want you to know that this in-market opportunity shrinks even further. So if you're only going to do now lead gen campaigns, trying to get to the low-hanging fruit and get the 1% of the market, as soon as the recession is over, you didn't do any brand building, any awareness, it's not going to work out for you really well. So you don't cut your budget during a recession if you can. Now, if your budget was cut, I do urge you to take this to the management of the company and show them evidence-based marketing that you should act differently. So as we said, most companies decrease, 70% of companies decrease their budget during a recession or even an economic slowdown. Let's call this, we don't know what it is yet, so let's just call it economic slowdown. So you might have less budget. What should you do? How can you distribute your budget the right way during tough times? When you don't have a lot, most marketing managers have a tendency to focus on the bottom of the. They also have high pressure from the management to generate leads, to increase sales, to get more revenue into the company. And then that's why they choose to focus really on the bottom of the funnel to generate leads. As you can see, most are measured on leads turning to MQLs, converting into SQLs, and then of course sales. And if you don't show that as a result, it's like, oh, your marketing is not generating results. So this is something that everyone deals with. Everything in marketing is aware of that there is constant pressure from the management to focus on generating leads. Now, I want to show you research done by the IPA, or presented by the IPA, really, about the difference between which results you can get from focusing only on lead gen and focusing on brand, and lead gen together versus just lead gen. Okay, so the brown line here that you see, this one here, it's just setting up a lead gen campaign, and that actually, it does produce results, definitely in the short term. Even in the short term, it might even produce better results than running lead gen versus plus brand. But after about 6 months, so this is like the breaking point here, you can see that companies that have run brand awareness plus lead gen actually get a lot more leads. So that means that delegating some of your budget to awareness and brand will bring you more leads. The tendency to spend the budget on lead generation is wrong, because it can only get you so much. But if you spend on both lead gen and awareness, after 6 months, you will see that your results are a lot better than if you only invest in lead gen. Now, I also want to show you LinkedIn's internal data. And LinkedIn internal data shows that company that focused on lead gen plus brand awareness campaign reached a conversion rate that is 6 times higher than companies that focused only on lead gen. So once again, I'm stressing this for a good reason, because I know that you need to generate leads now that convert to sales. And what I'm telling you, that the tendency to say, okay, let's just focus on leads, will get you less leads that are converting less, and probably not converting into sales as much as if you focused on both lead generation and awareness. So how should you really distribute your budget? So I would say, at least, and I know it's hard to do, at least 50% of your budget should go to awareness, to the top of the funnel. Yes, you cannot ignore that. And then about 20% should go to the gray area that is between the top and the bottom, the middle of the funnel, that nobody really knows where it is. but it's just, content that is slightly more advanced, I'd say. And then you can take 30% of your budget and put it in lead gen. And what will happen in this distribution is that you will get more leads than if you take 100% of your budget and put it on lead gen. So that's important to understand, because it is really, I'd say, it contradicts the obvious, I guess, alternative to just go for lead gen. So after we talked about the fact that this, until now, I've talked about the research and the findings and the evidence of what you should do based on theories, and not really theories that were tested throughout numerous research. But from now on, from this presentation, I think after we understood the basics, I want to talk about really things that we have seen in campaigns that we run, and for our clients, what actually works and what doesn't, and what actually moves the needle. So if we talked, let me go back a slide. If we talked about 50% of your budget should go to the top of the funnel, and I'd say, let's say 70% is the top and middle, how can you do this efficiently? Because the topic of this presentation is generating leads during times of budget cuts. So I realized you need to be efficient and you need to spend your money well. How can you do awareness in an efficient way so it doesn't cost you a fortune? So, of course, this presentation is addressing B2B firms. So, LinkedIn is obviously one of the major tools that you will be using, and that's why I chose to focus on LinkedIn. LinkedIn, if you upload content or ads, if you try to run ads on LinkedIn, you know that it's very expensive. But if you want to do awareness in an efficient way, you can always use the LinkedIn Audience Network. Now, don't get confused between the LinkedIn Audience Network and the Audience Extension. Uh, audience extension is one thing that we are not using because it is not accurate and it's not providing good results for us. But the LinkedIn Audience Network is really a display network that you can really, instead of showing ads in the newsfeed, where we know not all of your audience logs into LinkedIn frequently enough to see it, you can actually use LinkedIn's display network, which is the audience network. And if you, it's a lot cheaper. So if you want to make sure that your ads run only on the audience network to be efficient, in case you really have a problem with your budget that is too small. Of course, it's better to run both on the feed and the display network. But if your budget was cut, let's be efficient and run it on the audience network where it's a lot cheaper. So what you should do to make sure that you don't have a feature on LinkedIn to say, oh, run my ads only on the audience network. So what you should do is you should go with a very small bid. This is just an example here, but go with a very small bid. So that's not enough to run on the news feed, but it's enough to run on the audience network. And you can play with the bid and see how much impressions you get, and decrease it until you find the sweet spot. So that's definitely one hack for running awareness campaigns, which we've seen are very important. You cannot afford to not run awareness campaigns if you want to generate leads. That's an efficient way, and it's going to result in a very small cost per click, and it's going to support all of your lead gen activity on LinkedIn. I also want to talk a little bit about some of our targeting secrets. Now, many companies on LinkedIn just go and try to find their ideal audiences on LinkedIn and then discover irrelevant leads, or that they didn't really get the exactly who they wanted. So one thing you should know is if you select industry targeting on LinkedIn, that's not accurate. There's reasons for that. One of the reasons is that when people just write which industry they are on their profile, they decide, they select an industry. Many times they don't select the industry of the company they work for, but they select the industry they work for. So, for example, if I'm a marketing manager working for a SaaS company, not necessarily I will write software as an industry. I will write marketing. So that means that if you select industry targeting, that's only, by the way, one reason. There's other reasons. I don't want to go into it too deeply, but it just means that you are not going to get accurate results. Instead, I urge you to build an account list so you can run a search on LinkedIn. And of course, I'll show you later what you can do to run a search, and then build an account list that is accurate. You can also get, by the way, account lists from many other data sources. But if you do have an account list and you combine that with titles, job titles that you target, you will have a much, much, much better and more accurate results. Another way to target is to target skills plus seniority. So a lot of people, when they enter the skills, you know which type of audiences you need, because that usually is very accurate. So we've seen a lot of amazing results by combining skills and seniority, and also great results by combining account lists and titles. That also extends your it will extend your audience, of course. One thing that is very important: use retargeting. I can't tell you how many times I've seen companies that we started working with, they didn't have retargeting in their campaign, which is like leaving the money on the floor, really. You have to have retargeting because we know that people need a few touch points before they actually decide to convert. As for bottom of the funnel targeting, I suggest to use interest as intent data. And also, I want to urge you to retarget based on post engagement. And I'll show you a funnel later on, where how you can really run a full funnel campaign on LinkedIn in an efficient way, a smart way. And to use retargeting based on engagement means that that audience is slightly warmer and you want them to see a new ad now. So I'll show you how to do it. Retarget based on video views, on engagements. We know that that audience that has engaged with your ads is a warmer audience. Also, I would urge you to use the website demographic feature on LinkedIn just to make sure that you're targeting the right people. So basically, you have a pixel, you can use the tag manager or implement it directly on your website. That will track whoever visits your website. It will show you which industry they're from, what's their title, companies that visit your website. That way you can assure that your targeting is accurate, and it's important to check. As for building the account list, the company list that you want to target, you can, for any purpose, whether it's account-based marketing, whether it's for outreach, or even for an SDR work, you need to make sure that you know how to search well. We work with Sales Navigator, but you don't have to. It's, of course, it gives you more filters and better results, but you need to know how to use Boolean search to get to the target audience. Sometimes you use the keywords field. Sometimes you search by skills. There's many things. You need to learn how to better search on LinkedIn, and also search for Boolean search to make sure that your results lead you to the right people. Now, that's, if you write that on Google, there's tons of research, tons of resources that will show you secrets to searching on LinkedIn. So I don't think I want to spend time talking about that. I just want you to know that you need to know how to search using the keyword field and Boolean search to make sure that you reach your target audience on LinkedIn, exactly them and no one else. I also want to talk really slightly about A/B testing, because I have seen we've taken campaigns, especially now when budgets are cut. We've seen, we have few clients where we A/B test everything. By the way, we're very much into data, and what we've seen is that you can improve your results by hundreds of percentage simply by A/B testing. No, you don't. You know, if you improve your results, it's like someone has doubled your budget, and that's actually happening without doing anything else, just A/B testing. Now, to do that, it's very simple. What you need to do is to make sure that you have a testing plan. So you need to decide what you're going to test. You need to change one element at a time. It could be the headline, it could be the image, it could be the copy, anything. And you need to make sure that you have enough data so that it's representative. And I would urge you to document like crazy, because when I say that we've improved results by hundreds of percentages, I mean it. And we recently saw a client double their budget after the results were so amazing. So whether you're a campaign manager working for a company and you want to show your value, you can improve your results significantly if you document and you have a testing plan and you wait for enough time to have enough data to make statistical decisions that are correct. Now, that sounds obvious. A/B testing, yeah, I do that. But no, it's not obvious, and not everyone does it the right way. The right way to do it is to have a testing plan, to document everything that you do, to make sure you test one element at a time, that you change your campaigns based on the results. So that you need to see every month your cost per lead go down every month. Of course, sometimes testing don't work, but if you manage it correctly, you can show how you can improve results over time. You can show a graph, and that can happen without without changing anything else, not budget, not content, anything really. So this is very important for you to know, um, because I don't see enough of that, unfortunately, and that's one of the strongest tools you have right now. You need to remember you cannot influence or control everything. Certain things are going to be just drop down on you from the management, like budget cuts, like changes in strategy. What you can control is this testing to make sure that you improve results significantly, and just realize that you can get double the leads within a few months if you do it correctly. So that means that although your budget was cut, you could still generate amazing results. And I know I don't have enough time to. I mean, it's not a session that is only on A/B testing. But if anyone wants here, I can have a separate webinar and show you exactly our methodology for A/B testing. So I would urge you, if you want to start, by the way, just to document everything that you do on your campaigns, because that will put you in the right mindset for really A/B testing and being data driven. Now, I wanna ask you something. I wanna ask all of you to take your phones or use your computer and log into LinkedIn and see if you find any non-sponsored company post on your feed. And I'm willing to bet that none of you finds a post, or if you do, it's going to be probably promoted, not organic. And if you do find one, it will take a long, like you'd have to really scroll to see it. And that means that while organic activity is activity that doesn't cost you money, at least it does cost you in resources, internal resources, but it doesn't cost you media. And a lot of companies, what I see they just invest a lot of their time in content for the company page. And while that's maybe a must thing just to have there, it doesn't really create any result for you. So what I suggest is changing your focus. If you want to get the word out, you need to use personal profiles, whether it's management, company employees that are experts, that need to upload posts. And that will be the only thing that will create really another layer of awareness for you, because company organic posts, unless you sponsor them, which we've talked about before, LinkedIn doesn't really distribute organic posts from company pages. So you have to make sure that you have a few stars in the company, a few personal profiles that you use, or that you guide them how to use, and you upload content. And that has to be good content, valuable content that solves a problem, that talks about something that is unique, by experts of the company or higher management. And I want to give you a hack or two on. Of course, we can talk hours about how to do it and use feed optimization and when to upload your post and how to create a better affinity score. But I don't want to give you all of the information that you know already, or you heard of somewhere else. I want to give you something that is most of you probably don't know. If you upload content from like what I call thought leadership, from personal profiles, you need to create engagement, and it's hard. It takes time. So we have to do it faster. And to do it faster, I want to cut some corners for you. And I want to recommend you use one of these two tools. There's actually many other pods. I use both, by the way. If I need just an automated, if I don't have enough time to invest, I use Lampod, which is an automated engagement system. It pretty much means that I upload a post and then I get tons of engagement automatically, likes or comments, depends what you choose, from Lampod, which is really a network of many other people who agree to be a part of the pod and create engagement with one another. So you can upload a post and get 50, 60, 70, 80 likes. You don't want to have your post left like without engagement. It doesn't look good. So until it's a bit of fake it until you make it. Until you get that engagement, I want you to use that hack to have engagement instantly. Beep Together, by the way, it's not an automated system, but it's of course a lot better. It's more much better quality because it really is manual an engagement system. So people actually write a comment to your post after they read it, they understood it. So you have real comments and real engagement. It of course requires you to do the same. So it takes time. For me, I have an assistant that is doing it for me. Of course, you can allocate it to someone, but you need to make sure that you don't leave your post with zero engagement and comments, because it takes time to build engagement. So start by artificial, I'd say, engagement. Those are just small hacks to make sure that it looks better on your feed. By the way, if you don't want to use it, you can just you can use your team and ask them to create engagement, reply to your post, because we know the LinkedIn algorithm. If you don't have engagement, it doesn't show your post, doesn't distribute it. If the post gets a lot of engagement, LinkedIn says, oh, that's a good post, so I'm going to distribute to more people. So it's important to do that. By the way, that's what the tools here are very cheap, to the extent of like really cheap. It's not going to even influence your budget at all. I selected tools that everyone can afford, because this is a time where you have to be efficient. Now, I want to also talk to you about LinkedIn outreach. I know some of you have, like I'd say, some sort of a bad impression about LinkedIn outreach, that it's spammy. You get those direct messages all the time. You don't care for it. So let me tell you something. This works, okay? LinkedIn outreach works. And if you don't like it, it means that you're not a representative sample, or that you've been bombarded by spam, which is something that I don't suggest. LinkedIn outreach can be used for engagement as well. I'm sorry about that. I see I have some noise here. I have to get rid of it. 1 second. Sorry, that was someone at the door. So let's get back to LinkedIn outreach. It does work. It doesn't have to be spammy. You can use it for lead generation or for awareness. So we just had a client that needed to create awareness within a very selected group of people. It wasn't a big enough audience for ads, for running ads. So we sent them direct messages through LinkedIn, but not the spammy type, but messages that actually carry value and provide real awareness. And that worked very well. So you can, of course, start by awareness and then add some lead gen. But if you don't engage in outreach just because you have an impression that it doesn't work or it's spammy, you're making a mistake, because it doesn't cost you anything. If your budget is, constrain you, you need to use tools that are free. You can, of course, automate the entire thing. There are many LinkedIn automation tools you can use to automate that, and that will not even you won't even have to spend time or resources. So I urge you to do that. Now, the one more thing I want to talk about is events on LinkedIn. LinkedIn events currently are amazing for marketing. It's if you have events in your company, whether it's webinars or even physical events, it doesn't matter. You need to create events. Why? Because when people come to your events and they attend an event, you can convert them to leads and to sales, and you can keep nurturing them. So you can set up an event from a company page, then you promote it at scale, by the way, through either automated outreach or bulk invite, which is a feature in LinkedIn. You can find a way to send 1,000 invites per week per profile. So if you have 10 profiles, 20 profiles, automatically at scale, you can promote that event. Of course, you can require people who want to attend your event to use a registration form to capture their details. And then as long as they consent, you can send them marketing materials and nurturing materials. Not many people use it. Not enough companies use events. You just have, that's the form, by the way. It's pre-populated. It's very easy. People register to your event. You have all of their information. Before the event, like a week before and an hour before, they get notification about the event. So if you have events, you can promote them for free at scale automatically on LinkedIn. Of course, you need to learn a little bit about, try, test it, see how to use it. We can't go into the technique itself specifically, but of course, if you have questions, feel free to ask me later or write to me. But this is a tool that is at your fingers that you have to use. You have to use because it's free. Now, I think we only have a few minutes left. So I want to show you an example funnel strategy, and then I'll take questions that works right now. I'll show you 2 funnels, and then we'll have some time for questions. Full funnel on LinkedIn efficiently. You start by a single image ad or a video ad, okay? Then people who engage with that ad in any type of way, you can retarget based on engagement, and then show them, take them to an asset ad, an ungated asset. We don't want to gate too soon. Then we retarget those who actually engaged with the asset ad, and we lead them to a gated page. Once they went through the gate, you send them to HubSpot or Pardot or whatever marketing automation platform you're using to a nurturing sequence. And right after that, you show them a book, a demo, or bottom of the funnel type of lead form ad. Now, in parallel, some people engaged with your ad. They go on the bottom here, but some people have clicked the ad and reached your website. Then we want to retarget based on page visits to a page in which they can download an asset and convert. All of their information goes, of course, to your marketing automation platform, and then we retarget to a demo page. Why is this funnel efficient? Because you don't just show the same ad to everyone or just change ads all the time. You have a funnel here because you retarget based on action, and you move people down the funnel based on when they are ready. So this is something that you can use in your campaigns to help push people down the funnel, really. Another funnel, and that would be probably the last thing that I'll show you today. Another funnel is, again, you start with an ungated awareness campaign. By the way, I would change my asset once I reach 50% of the audience, and then I send them to an ungated page, retarget those who arrived here to a gated page. Of course, once they complete the form, they go to my platform. In parallel, I take one of the senior management in the company, one of the really high managers, and I optimize their LinkedIn profile. I extend their network. Only, we want to add people to their network. They are ideal clients. Only the company's ideal clients. So it's important to add the right people to their network. Of course, that could be done automatically. Then we start uploading valuable content, sending them to non-gated pages. We just want to upload content for 2-3 months just to show the expertise of the people running the company. 2-3 months at least. Wait, stop here. Don't send messages, nothing. After they've seen your posts for a few months and they see your ads for a while, then I would suggest starting an outreach campaign, and you will see that the conversion rate that you get is crazy. It actually works. So just to summarize, I have a slide here to summarize, and I think that we are ready to take questions. Let's see what I have here. I have a lot of questions. Hopefully we can go through everything.
Yes, thank you for your talk, Gali. We have a huge number of questions here, about 11 I've just counted. So let's try to go through them really quickly. So we have first question from Daria. Really great stuff. Quick question. Does consideration content, should you put it as gated or ungated?
Okay, great question. I think we've answered some of it. Definitely the first stages, I will not gate the first 2 to 3 touch points with my target market. After they've engaged with your content, then you can send them to a gated content, but not the first 2 to 3 touch points.
Okay, it's a good point. So the next question from Kate, can you use the same targeting on LinkedIn Audience Network with no trade-offs?
So I'm not sure I understand what it means without no trade-offs, but no, you can really just upload the ad to just the audience network and not the news feed if that's what you meant.
Okay. Next up, we have a question from Jonathan. Do you ever find that land gives a further reach, but the audience is further from your actual ICP?
Well, I don't see a big enough gap to say that it's unjustified. I do see that it gets a lot. Some of the people who don't log into LinkedIn daily, you can definitely find them on the LinkedIn Audience Network. I wouldn't be afraid. It's not like the Audience Extension Network where you get completely unrelated people. This one is pretty accurate, and I've never seen a big enough gap to justify not to do that. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Next, so Kate would like to know more about your webinar on A/B testing. I think you mentioned earlier that if you ask for interest for A/B testing, so she wants to know where they can sign up.
Oh, okay. You could just send me an email, I guess, and I'll send you. I'll see if I can answer further question about how to do A/B testing. And so, if anyone wants more info, because I've touched high level a lot of things, if anyone wants more info on anything that we've touched here, feel free to send me an email. I don't know if they have my email. If not, I'll just write it later on the chat.
Okay.
I'll just write it.
Cool. Yeah. How long should the A/B tests last? Typically, I think there's a follow-up question on that.
This is a very good
What's your
question.
recommendation?
Very, very good question. And I have to say that most companies don't have the patience and they don't acquire enough data to make sure it's representative. So it really depends on your budget and your cost per lead. But I would say, as a general rule, you don't make the first decision until 2 to 3 weeks, considering you have a large enough budget. So,
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. Next question from Michael. Are there quality websites on the LinkedIn Audience Network that has no
yes.
negative impact on the brand reputation?
The audience network obviously works with LinkedIn. LinkedIn cares deeply about the publishers that it signs up, so you won't find their websites that you don't want your ad to run on. So that should work for you.
And the next question we have from Dharma is land free? Where can you find more information about how it works?
What you mean the LinkedIn? If you mean the LinkedIn Audience Network, then
Yes.
of course on LinkedIn, you can write just on Google, LinkedIn Audience Network, and the first result will take you to LinkedIn's explanation on the network, and you can see a lot more there.
Okay, thank you. I think you have some good feedback, amazing insights you're sharing with us. I see a lot of stuff has to be improved and changed within our company. So that's really good. It's been really helpful. And the next question we have from Olena, does engagement hack programs harm the account somehow? Should be blocked by because of the services. Engagement hack program.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't harm the account. It's really about your reputation when you upload a post. They don't harm because it's actual real people that are, whether it's automated or manual, real people are engaging with your post. Of course, that the manual engagement system is of higher quality.
Cool. Awesome. The next question is, if the company post has to get engagement, what is better, likes or reposting, resharing? If it's resharing, the person who's resharing add their own message.
So just to make sure I understand, resharing the same post that I upload or the company page upload. If you're resharing a post from the company page, that's okay. It might show on the feed because a person has reshared it. I think that the best would be to repost because people behave differently when they see a post and when they see a reshare. There's better engagement for reposting than resharing. But in many cases, when there is a problem with resources, I say at least reshare, at least.
Cool. I think we're running a bit short of time. Maybe let's just grab the last question and then we could go because I think it's lunch break coming up. So let's look maybe the last question. Like, what LinkedIn automation tools would you recommend for direct outreach?
That's a very good question, but the answer is very long because it really depends on your goals. We as an agency have different needs than a company. So if you just need it for one for a company, you don't have a few clients, I would suggest either Linked Helper or Expandy, or even you have many other tools. If you're an agency, it's a completely different answer. So you can really the best way is to test. There are so many tools. Just test a few and see which works best for you. But they all do that. They all do the work, really.
Awesome. I think we kind of have to, unfortunately, stop here now. If you have any other questions, feel free to get in touch with Gali. I've put her email address there, gali@daysmarketing.com.
Daysmarketing.com, yeah.
Yes, daysmarketing.com.
Might take me a day or two to reply, but I reply to everyone.
Awesome.
Thank you, everyone.
Yes, thank you, Gali, for your time, for spending time with us today, sharing your wonderful insights about how to generate high-quality leads during this time. And this following up will be a 1-hour lunch break. But coming back, we're going to have exciting topic sessions talking about the use of AI in managing daily marketing campaigns and about TikTok, which there's a lot of controversies going on. So if you want to learn all about it, remember to sign in back with us on this channel, Tools and Channels. And thank you very much, Gali. Any last words before we go? No? Okay, cool. Thank you very much. See
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
This is all we got. Remember the revolution in our minds. This is all we got.
Lock me out of this life institution. I am angry and high on illusions. Yes, I hate, but it's not a solution. Try my best, but I'm just a human. Oh, we don't need to say